Hi, I'm Sherita Cherry, your beauty expert, and welcome to my color bar. Today I'm going to share with you a color technique using color correction. And what color correction is, it comes in many formalities, but what we're going to do, she has been placing black rinse on her hair. So we're going to go in and take the black rinse off, and then we're going to go in and deposit an auburn mahogany tone. So what we did was I kind of went through my color swatch book. This is my color swatch book. I cannot live without my color manual, my color Bible as I often call it. But it has the color wheel in it, as you can see. And I went in and kind of identified the level that she was at, the level we're going to go to. Now, as you prepare for your colors, as I always mention to you, make sure your work area is very neat. So as you can see, I have my DPL mixed with 5 volume cream. I'm going to do a couple highlighting pieces around the crown of her hair for some face framing, just to kind of soften up my hair color. I also have my favorite rat tail. You cannot live without your rat tail comb doing your color processing. And another most important item is your timer. I'm always sharing with you, making sure you time your color processing time. So go on and let's jump in. Oh, some foils. Here's my foils. I have a couple foils because I am going to do some face framing. So let's go on and jump into this color and see how we can get down. So what I've done is I've made my 4 diamonds, shapes, my 4 sections. As you can look closely, she's about 80% gray. So as I deposit, I'm going to go in and cover that gray. And then you can see where she has some chemical on the ends of her hair, but she has no relaxer at the base of her hair. So she has about 5 to 6 inches with no relaxer, and then she has the tips, which is has been processed. So I'm going to go in and take this, we're going to go with step 1. So I'm going to go in and lift this black off of her hair, try to get her to like a level 4 or 5. I'm going to start at the crown. I often start at the crown, especially when I'm dealing with gray coverage. And I'm just going from scalp to ends with my DPL. Actually, I'm going to wait on my tips because she does have some chemicals on it. And we want to keep the length on her hair. So come around me a little bit closer and you can see how right over here. You can see how I am depositing it on the texture with no relaxer. You want to make sure you don't get it in their face. And I'm using 1/4 sectionings, and I'm coloring the regrowth area. So I'm not getting this color on the gray, as you can see. Can you get that a little close? You can see the gray right here. So I'm just putting my color on the relaxed hair, processed downward. Cut? You got that? Mm-hmm. You cut it, right? Okay. Just give me a couple pictures. Okay, what I've done is pre-lighten her regrowth area, as you can see, and I'm now going to go on and apply it to her ends. And because the reason I did this, you can do scalp to ends, but because she had a relaxer on her tips, I wanted to do those last. One thing about color correction, when you're doing a color correction on a client that you did not apply the black to, then you don't know what brand or what quality of the brand or what discovery you're going to come up with. So as you can see, this is processing a little bit slowly for me, which I like it to kind of process a little quick. So I'm just going to go on and just kind of rub this on her ends to make sure we get some really good coverage on her ends. And we're going to hope that it just takes 1 application. I ran out of color, so it's okay to mix some fresh color to do your second step. But if you can see around the back area, it is starting to lift a little bit. And you want to make sure that it's fully saturated. So always ask your guests what brand they use, especially if you did not do it. I can get the color you want. I just kind of got to know what brand it is to know if the color will lift off pretty quickly or if it'll lift off slowly. This is lifting off really quick at the scalp, but the ends are taking a little bit longer, which is oftentimes normal because that's your most resistant area. But make sure you get really, really good coverage. Now what I've done is I pre-lightened her hair from the scalp to the ends now. You can see that it's starting to process. I'm going to allow this to sit for 35 minutes. And what happens when you're doing color correction, there's so many different discoveries. So because this black color that she had on her hair was applied, I didn't know the brand, I didn't know the quality of the brand, so I don't really know how it lifts. So I'm hoping that it's going to give me a really nice lift in the first application. So you want to make sure that you ask those questions before you actually process the color. And now I'm just going to go through and just take it from the scalp all the way down to the ends in every area. Now this process do take some time, so you cannot rush, you cannot skip over. You really got to take your time if you want that color to be really, really nice. So she's a black and she wants to get rid of that black and do something a little softer. So we're going to take all that black off and give her a real pretty warm mahogany. Okay, I've rinsed my DPL off, and as you can see, I got 50 colors going on. So let me identify at the scalp area. You could tell that's a little too light for me, but we're going to work with it, so I'll add a little more in. Then right in here we have my level 5, which is perfect, that red. But on my tips, they're still dark, so I'm going to go in and do some slicing because we do want some highlights around the hairline. And the back area, if you come around the back, you see that at the scalp it's a little too light, so I'll add a little bit more in, but it's perfect right here because I have my level 5 right here. Perfect. So I'm going to go on and do some diagonal slicing, which is going to give me some depth and some lightness around the facial area. And I'm just going to apply this where it's dark, so I don't need to go in that red area. I don't have to touch my level 5 because it's already a level 5. So I'm just doing it on the ends. Once again, using your clips to lay the hair down. And I'm doing some kind of large slicing highlights in that area. And I'm only going to do the tips. Okay, now I'm going to freestyle, and I'm just going to go in on these dark ends and just kind of pre-lighten it right in the mid-shaft, right where my dark is. And I'm just freestyling and just painting it on there, brushing it on. Kind of give me that lift so you could see a lot of different colors in this. Okay, and as I mentioned, a lot of stylists get really scared at this part because they have the hair lifted and they don't know what to do. And because I did not apply her previous color, I don't know what is up under the color, so as I go in, I find all these discoveries. So as you can see, at the scalp, it's so light, which means there was no color on it. Pretty much was virgin. Then you have the mid-shaft where she has all these different black rinses that she used and different brands that she used. So I don't know how they lift. So you find all these discoveries as you're lifting it off. But back in the back, it lifted perfectly. And what I mentioned to her is this is the area she probably can't see. So she probably wasn't getting really good coverage when she was doing her color. She just got it covered enough, but enough for it just lifted off perfectly for me. And then I just kind of freestyled in here. And you could just go in with your fingers. You can have fun with it because you just kind of want it lifted off. And that's where you have to kind of, even up in some of these spaces, I think I'll take some and just put some on the tip, mid-shaft maybe. Just to get some of this darkness off. And the fun thing about color, you just have fun with it. When you get all these discoveries, it allows you to take the color in so many different ways. As long as you use the color wheel as your guide, you'll always achieve your perfect color.